doesn't take a lot of hits to get the job done. The fallen must face death. With the berserker defeated, I walked over to the astral fissure. As I stretched my hand towards the astral fissure, I felt two forces tugging at me from the other side. In my mind, I heard a voice from my dreams and two swords appeared. Which symbol of power would I choose? I think I'm still tipped towards good. So if I get the golden sword, I wonder if that will balance me out. Soon the astral fissure vanished. I felt an enormous surge of power flow into me, a power even stronger than what I had felt before. Perhaps it was because my connection with the sword slumbering within the astral fissure had also grown in strength. Whatever the case, it seemed I still possessed the ability to absorb the fissures. It was time to report back to Dion.
Your soul surges in your body.
Level 56. Still tipped towards good. His request. You've done well. Aval thanks you, and so do I. Once again, I found myself at the Aval organization's base, meeting with Dion and Natalie. Unfortunately, the investigations into Sergro's whereabouts are proceeding slowly. However, I've read several reports about what may be the Black Demon. Aval agents in a number of different locations have heard rumors of it while gathering information on outsiders. Our agents' reports contain information on where it was sighted, who it attacked, and when, and so on. Alas, we can draw no clear conclusions yet. Worse, these reports raise more questions than answers. With so many sightings spread out over such a large area, it is difficult to imagine that they all correspond to the same entity. In other words, there's a good chance that these leads are red herrings that won't lead me to Grow or the Black Demon. Do you still plan to pursue this demon? I nodded. Dion responded with a deep sigh. Rhea, please find Sir Grow. I asked this not as part of the organization. This request is from me personally. I asked him what the plan was once Grow or the Black Demon was found. ... If he is found and has lost himself to evil, then the only one with the power to stop him is you. Sir Grow taught me how to fight, but more than that, I owe him my life. It saddens me to say that there are many in Aval who have lost sight of its true purpose, blinded by their lust for power and squabbling for personal gain. But Sir Grow's loyalty and purpose never wavered. Aval needs him now more than ever. Furthermore, he believed in you. Is that not so? I gave a small nod. Stop by again soon. In the meantime, we'll do our best to gather more accurate information. Dion and Natalie bid me farewell, and I left the Aval base behind. You can now accept Astral Fissure Sealing missions. The Aval organization offers substantial rewards for these missions, so try to seek any astral fissures that appear. Try to seal any. Alright. Looks like those become a new type of side mission that I can accept. Exploration in Fiendorf. Information from the Aval organization had hardly been enlightening, but it would surely have been more in the dark had I acted alone. And with that, I began my search for the Black Demon. Alright. Looks like now the story beat missions, which are the red tiles, are not necessarily on each of the cities. I will have to go on expeditions in order to find them. what lurks in the harbor. With the information I had received from the AVOL organization to guide me, I went in search of the Black Demon. According to their intelligence, the demon was located in a port town nearby. Level 44, mystery enemy. My first thought was, how could it be possible for a Malfested to lurk in this town unnoticed? According to the AVOL agent's report, a particularly cunning Malfested had wheedled its way into society by disguising itself as a merchant. While the Black Demon was skilled at covering its tracks, something about this didn't feel quite the same. This Malfested looked and acted just like any other human. For a specimen with such guile, interrogation would be pointless. What could I do? I tailed it until night. When I entered a dark, empty alleyway, I approached it. Who's there? I approached silently and the Malfested bolted. Hastily, I followed. I arrived at, or perhaps I should say I was led to the port. The Malfested stood before me, sword in hand. Grr, how did you know? The Malfested was clearly panicked. Without a word, I raised my weapon. Reading is difficult.
Battle 1. Fight.
Level 44, Raphael. And off he goes.
Battle 2. Fight.
Are you?
It's been a while since I'm trying to remember all the different combos with Siegfried here. Certain attacks that he does puts him into his different sword stances as sort of a follow-up. That's what I'm trying to remember how to do. That Malfested was a powerful adversary, true, but it was unlikely that it was the Black Demon I sought. It was time to follow up on my next lead. I guess we can take a look at Zasalamel, since he's right here. It cost me 100. Echoes of Fate, the story of a man. I made my way through the desert, my goal an ancient city whose history was bound to Soul Edge. After braving a sandstorm, I arrived, but I was not alone. While traveling the burning sands in search of an ancient city mentioned in the legend of Soul Edge, I sensed a familiar presence. I looked around, soon spotted a man carrying a scythe standing on top of a rock, Zasalamel. I climbed the sheer rock face. When I reached the top, I surveyed the scene and saw the expansive remains of a city half buried in the sand below. Zasalamel broke the silence. This place was once a prosperous and well-known center of trade. Countless people gathered here, trading everything from spices to blades to information. Dozens of languages could be heard on the street. On every street. Zasalamel looked at the ruins as though he could still see the city in its former glory. All but nature is, in the end, ethereal. Zasalamel had turned towards me, measuring me with his gaze, but for what I did not know. You are another who has glimpsed the power of the two swords. As one who has walked this road before, I must test your worth. Zasalamel ready to scythe. Alright, we're sparring with Zasalamel again. Level 58. Looks like he recovers life over time. His speed is going to be more difficult to deal with as Siegfried here. Oh, I wonder if that could still ring out. Oh, that's gonna hit me, yep.
My abyss shall take you. Satisfied now?
Got him out the air.
Do not get ahead of battle. Fight. I've waited for this.
Aww.
My abyss shall take you. Satisfied now?
Aww. I didn't think he'd be able to block it in time. There we go. Not an easy fight.